What's up, guys? It's your boy, Robot Platypus Edits, and today we're back with another epic Beyblade review of this Emperor Forneus 0 Yard. It was the first defense type released in Beyblade Burst CHO, and many people hoped that Hasbro would rename it Epic Fortnite F4, but unfortunately that never happened. So yeah, I'll tell you about all the different parts. First up is the layer Emperor Forneus. Alright, so Emperor Forneus is pretty round. It looks kind of like poison, but like it's better than poison. It's actually pretty decent for defense. The problem is that I guess all Emperor Forneuses have, except for, or most of them have just like notoriously bad balance. Like no matter how much you balance tune your combo, you can't get it to work right. It'll always be unbalanced in some way. And that's kind of what makes this layer not too great. It was only arguably better for defense at the time than like Alter Chronos was when it first came out. Just between the weight and like the okay teeth made it safer to put on bearing than something like Deep Chaos or Drain Fafnir, because at the time Spriggan Requiem was banned. So yeah, that was the safest option for bearing, but like this was still safer than like Deep Chaos and possibly Alter Chronos. So EF bearing was most people's like go-to counter for Drain Fafnir and Hill Salamander Atomic for a while, until Archer Hercules pretty much just completely took its place. Better stamina, better defense, better balance. It's pretty much completely outclassed by Archer Hercules at this point. Yeah, and despite like it having okay defense, just because of the weight and the teeth, it still would lose to things like Winning Valkyrie, maybe things like Twin Nemesis, Excalibur. Some of the later God Series attackers too could beat it, so even then it really wasn't that impressive. The disc is 0, which is currently still one of the best discs in the game. It's probably one of the heaviest. It's supposed to weigh, I think, 24 grams. But I think only one of mine actually weighs over 24 grams. The others are all like 23 point something. But yeah, it has nice balance, pretty heavy, some centralized weight distribution which will give it better defense. But it makes it like rather slow movement and not as good for stamina as something like 7 or 10 would be. But either way, it's still one of like the top, it's definitely in the top 5 of discs that you could use for a combo, just because it's so heavy and well balanced. I mean, recommended combos. I really think that like 0, 7, and 10 are more or less interchangeable, unless you're using it without a frame. Because between balance variations between the 3 parts, then one could be better than another for you. I feel like, personally, 7 is better than 0 for me for stamina. I know for some people it's the opposite. I know 10 was beating 7 for stamina, but it also bursted more, and I also don't have my 10 anymore. But it's very possible that like one of my 0s, because I have like 6 of them now, is better than my 7s, or who knows. I haven't like compared all of them one against the other, but it's just in my experience 7 was beating 0 for stamina. And then finally, the driver is Yard, which probably wins the award for the dumbest named driver in the entire series. It's big and green, like a yard. I don't know, it's just a stupid name. It has a free spinning ball about the size of Orbit. It's actually shorter than most other drivers, so it's the same height as Eternal and Jolt. And I think there's one other thing that's short, but I can't remember what it is. Yeah, I don't remember it either, but it has this ring around it for life after death. And apparently, its spring is intentionally weaker, as in like the same tightness as Atomic. But I'm not sure if that's really a problem anymore, since the layers are so heavy and burst resistant that people will comfortably use Atomic on them now, so I feel like you can comfortably use Yard. In opposite spin, it'll beat things like Orbit, but I'm pretty sure it loses to Revolve in opposite spin. But it definitely loses to like anything Atomic and up in opposite spin. In same spin, it's the only like niche use it has is destabilizing same spin Eternal more effectively than something like Atomic can, just because it is the same height as Eternal and can get under it more consistently than taller drivers like Orbit or Atomic. But that's really its only use. It doesn't have the same spin performance, like raw stamina, as Atomic or Orbit, Atomic or Orbit, and it's outclassed in opposite spin by a bunch of stuff. It also scrapes pretty easily. Like, there's a whole bunch of frames you can't even use with this driver, just because of how short it is and how like easy it is to knock off balance and make scrape. So yeah, the one combo that I found Yard to be useful in is like the Spice Leopard combo I posted several months ago, which is Vice Leopard 0 Bump Yard, which is, like I said, it's basically only used to defeat Archer Hercules on cone-shaped tips, like Eternal, Extend, plus Revolve and Bearing. And yeah. So overall, Emperor Forneus is probably not too bad of a Beyblade stock. Just because it has like a good stamina defense, a good-ish stamina defense layer on a good stamina defense disc on a like okay stamina defense driver, which makes it all around just an okay pick for stamina and defense. But it's really not required for collection. I think it might be the cheapest way to get a guaranteed 0, but don't quote me on that. There's probably some other way, because it's been released like 5 different times in CHO. I think it's the cheapest way to get Yard. I'm not sure about that either. I think it was also in some random booster. But yeah, unless you really need a cheap 0, or want Emperor Forneus to test it out, or Yard to make dumb destabilizer combos, then I would honestly skip over Emperor Forneus as well. So I think up next is either going to be Bloody Longinus or Crash Ragnarok. So I will see you guys next time then.